What is up, YouTube family and friends? Welcome back to the channel. On today's episode, I am back finally on some work for the Buggy. It has been a couple of months. Family's just been sort of dealing with sickness, everything like COVID, flu, strep, normal cold. Like, it has just been running rampant. So my time in here, between everything else we have going on, has been very, very limited, but I'm gonna hopefully throw down some solid progress for y'all and myself today, and get the X-Crossmember on the B-pillar section of the chassis finished. It has pretty much taken me, up to this point, like almost 2 months to cut and notch 4 pieces of tube, and I have 2 more to go, the bottom section of the X-Crossmember and a couple little tie-in tubes. So what I'm hoping to do is to finish that this evening. That will be awesome, because then the X-Crossmember is all done and dusted, and it adds some more strength, support, and rigidity to the chassis, which is forward stepping in the right direction. So anyway, what I will do is I will quickly catch you guys up to speed and show you guys what I have done since the last video that I posted. And then we're gonna get some cutting, some notching, and some tube work, and definitely some welding done this evening, and finish up that X-Crossmember. So, let me show you what I got going on. Alrighty, so for those of you guys who have been following, last video was on the LS head mounts that I did, and getting the tube work and those head mounts kind of all dialed in. If you guys have not been following, there's a video on that. Check that out. There's a cool video on the top mounted Turbo 400 transmission. You guys can go check that out. But anyway, what I've kind of been focusing on is 2 things, which is gusseting as well as single pass welding all the tube that is in here. So everything in the bottom portion of the chassis has all been single passed with .045 wire. So that is awesome. That is definitely a big step in the right direction. Next up on that is to do my final cap pass in 1/16. But I'm not going to do that until I get this section done, dusted, and completed. So the other thing, as I mentioned, was gusseting. So I did some gusseting on the main motor mounts, the side mounted motor mounts, just to add some more strength to that tube, because, you know, that tube by itself probably wouldn't have lasted. So some nice big old fat thick gusseting up there. I did add some gusseting on the head mounts, which you can see here on both sides. I still gotta inside weld those. I'll do those on the bench. I pretty much just did everything that I could. And then I did some gusseting on the top of the transmission mount. Just kind of kept them simple, straight edges, made them look like little mini rocket ships. Anyway, fun times. So, on to what I'm actually doing tonight, which is X-Crossmember. So, to continue with the added support, kind of as you'd see here, you know, do a flop, hit the roof, the transfer of energy would go down between the bars, you know, kind of through into the chassis. If I did nothing here and just did a harness bar, if I hit the roof could cave in. If I just did like these upper bars like you see here, fine, cool, I hit the roof, pressure goes down, then it stops on this harness bar, then the harness bar can cave in. So there are going to be 2 more tubes, one which will connect here, another one which will connect over there, and then some tie-in tubes to just, you know, tie everything in together nicely. But that will pretty much solidify my X-Crossmember here on the B-pillar. Anyway, enough rambling. I've been chatting for a bit now. I'm gonna get some tube out from the corner. We are gonna get cutting, notching. We're gonna finish that X-Crossmember. Let's do it. speed things up a little bit and get the second tube done. There we go. Let's do it. Now, something cool that just kind of came in the mail not too long ago, I think about like a week ago now, that I've been super excited about and have been itching to kind of share with y'all, but have not yet, is what I'm gonna be doing for the headrests on the buggy. So, as you guys know, I have the PRP low back bucket style seats, which are super sweet. They are on the black alligator vinyl, and what I was thinking is, you know, I've seen a lot of people, they do kind of like the black pool noodle, you know what I mean, and it's cool, it's low profile and things like that, but it just, to me, and you know, don't get me wrong, I've ran that in the buggy with the black pool noodle and things like that. It's just meh, it's okay. You know, I wanted to do something a little bit sort of nicer, in my opinion, maybe something slightly bougie. So there's a company, 386 Fab, and they will custom make you a pair of headrests in the exact same vinyl that PRP can offer. You can get pretty much them from 386 Fab. And they're really nice, man. Black alligator vinyl, just like PRP, red piping, you know, it's got their logo stitched in the middle, cool, right on. And it's got a steel weld plate on the back that actually comes out. But basically, you know, these bad boys are really sweet. So they will pretty much mount like so. I still get to keep all that lower and side visibility that I would lose if I did like a full high back seat. Looks, in my opinion, once again, looks a lot nicer than, you know, just kind of pool noodle chilling back there. And it kind of matches the seats, so like, you know, win. And then obviously too, you know, protecting my head from clacking on, you know, steel, which is never a good thing. So, you know, safety first, my friends. But yeah, man, really stoked about these. So after lots and lots of welding and letting it cool and welding, because I only do a little bit at a time, because heat does funky things to metal, as I've said and as you guys all know, especially with the TIG, X-Crossmember is done. Well, at least the root pass with 0.145 is done. So I single passed the entire thing, top, bottom, all around, gotten all the crevasses. Whoop. I think it looks good. So anyway, that's pretty much a wrap on this thing. I'm definitely stoked with obviously how it came out. Obviously gives the center of the cage and the chassis a lot more structural support, both from the side. If I were to take like a side impact, these kind of cross tubes will help like transfer that side load, as well as the harness bar straight across. From the top, if there's any top kind of load that ends up going down between the center bar, the V bar, it'll help transfer the load down through the chassis. So yeah, you know, it's definitely pretty dope. Only thing that I need to do to kind of finish it is just a couple little tie-in tubes to tie them in. Other than that though, you know, that portion of it is pretty solid. So anyway guys, that is a wrap for tonight's video. What I'm going to be focusing on next, now that I have this X-Crossmember put in place, is my final pass in 1/16 on this and all the tube kind of in here, just so that it can all be fully welded and done, which is going to be a really sweet milestone because most of the tube work in this section of the chassis, you know, minus the back, minus the front, is pretty much, you know, done as far as the center of it goes. So that is really exciting. Once I can get everything kind of with my final cap pass, then what I am actually going to do is I'm going to start, you know, kind of pulling the drivetrain out of this thing, and I am actually going to raise the chassis up, and I'm going to set it at ride height, so that way I can start focusing on some other things such as axles and suspension and, you know, fun things down the road. But I am very excited. I definitely have made some really sweet progress up to this point. So I am going to try my best to kind of keep that forward momentum. So anyway, for those of you guys who are still watching, thanks for listening to me ramble and watching up to this point. I appreciate it. Drop a comment below. Let me know what you guys think of kind of what I was working on and anything else that you kind of see on the chassis. And as always, guys, thanks for stopping by. God bless, and I'll catch you on the next one.